stop letting it into your garden. And that's your power, is that you are aware. Like, you don't just let anything, like, because it's almost like a game in the way of like everything is gonna want to get into the, like, everybody wants what they can't have kind of vibe, like in sake of a story of like the metaphor. And not saying it in that way, like, oh, you want everyone to want you, but I mean like, at least for me, maybe this is a distorted perception now that I'm saying it out loud, like something doesn't click. But for me, how I feel, and maybe as I'm saying it, I'll change it into something that feels lighter. For how I feel is my power for me is how much I do know, like how much I know myself. And not know myself like, oh, I know what I like and I don't like. How much I know that I got me, that I will always have me, that I've always, like, that I can overcome literally anything, and I know that. And I believe in myself a lot. It's taken me a long time to get to that knowing. And my power is like loving myself and not being, basically not having lack, like not being in lack is my power. And I don't need anything else. And that is my power. And that's your power too. To know that you're full, to know that you're whole. So anything that you allow, and you are in control of your own life, right? So it's like when your conscious awareness is your power. Anything that I consciously allow in my sphere is because I, like, again, it's not like, oh, I'm better than you. It's like, I see your value. I see you. I love you, or whatever it is. I want to spend time with you, whatever, right? I see you, and however, no matter what connection I have, no matter what's going on, no matter what emotion I have, I will never abandon myself ever for anything outside of me anymore. I've done it too many times. And not even like because I've done it so many times and it ended bad. It was more, that is not correct. It's more of like, I have been through the trenches with myself, and it's almost like someone asking you to leave your dog. Like, I don't know, I know it's probably a bad analogy, but like my dog, I would never pick anything over like my dog. Like how much love I have for her, like I'm her mother, like it's basically my child. Like I'm gonna like I would never be like someone that's like, oh, just leave it at the house for 2 days and come on this amazing trip of a lifetime. And I knew that I had to leave my dog by herself for 2 days, I would skip the trip, right? Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if you guys have dogs, but like that's how I'm relating it, of like that's the same thing as like your power, like getting to that point where you're like, oh no, like your entire dream manifestation could be right at your door. However, the condition is you need to leave your dog for 2 days, right? By itself. And no one's allowed to come over. No one can feed it. It just has to stay here in this house. But you get to go for 2 days and live out your dream for 2 days. No. You know what I mean? No. So, and again, it's not about the dog. That's how I feel about myself. And it's because of a lot of the work and time that I have spent with myself and just like getting to know me. It's like it's the same thing with like I wouldn't choose something over my mom, because it's, for me, that's like a real love. Like, like that's a no for me. That's a no. My sister, that's a no for me, because that's like one of the loves of my life. It's deeper than anything, no matter how enticing. Even if I would want to choose it, I couldn't, because I know. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about me at this point. And I'm just like I would be, and that's what you should cultivate. Not so much, oh, but this, and am I going to find the right? And that's, again, taking you out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't literally matter, because if I have me, then I'm good. And when you stay there, right, you stay there for long enough, I'm willing to bet, I don't like that person, those people, the community, the thing is a match to you. It's impossible for it to not be there. That's not how the law works, right? And so Yeah, I would say that's your power. And like, people either will respect that, some people will try to conquer that, and other people will not be able to handle it and leave. And you want the people who respect it because they understand it, because they are it too, right? So again, and it doesn't require you to move or do anything or to judge them or to cast them away. If you stay there, there's no fear. There's nothing to worry about. Like, it will become, it's natural. Like, people will always show themselves in the face of that, right? And they might go through waves with it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like when like having someone that has really good boundaries, right? And it's to the point where you won't even need a boundary in a way, but like, it's just an essence. It's in your essence, in your field. But for example, like more physical manifestation of that is someone with really good boundaries that like trigger certain people can't be friends, because one friend has the personality of like, no, I'm not gonna, like my sister, she's very much like, no, I don't want to go. And her friend's like, come on. And Sarah does not care if you're sitting here being like, oh, come on, it's my birthday, you owe me. If Sarah doesn't want to go, she's not going to go. And she's not concerned about, and it doesn't mean she doesn't love you. She knows that she's a good friend. She knows she loves you. She knows that she's there for you. But she also knows that I'm not interested in having friends that expect me to like do the opposite of what I feel like doing. You know, and that's a power, because there's a lot of people that like feel always in this loop of guilt, always in this people pleasing, always, what about I have to do this? And her power and how she says it's like, I'm very sure that like I don't this wouldn't make me feel like I'm a bad person. I'm gonna do what I need to do for me. And some people really respect that in her. For some people it's triggering because they don't do that, and they wish sometimes it makes them feel like, wait, they didn't notice they were in a box and then now they do. Or some people, you know, respect it, but then they're like, okay, yeah, no, but that's just not me. Sometimes that's how I am. It's like, I respect that that's the way that she manifests her power, right? Sometimes for me, I think of it a little bit differently, but I can still, our power doesn't need to look exactly the same in how we hold and stand in it, but I can still recognize it because I know what it feels like. And so, you know, some friends are like, you know, she's a bad friend. She doesn't make all these sacrifices, and I'm always doing everything for her, right? And it's kind of like, well, now you're making it conditional. This person's doing things for you conditionally. They're kind of using it as this story, and that's not real. Yes, I understand that, like, it's for the sake of the story. Yeah, this person's doing this, and you should do this, but that's like an elementary school story, right? Like, that is elementary. It's trying to teach people how to be good people and to be reciprocal and blah, blah, blah. But if you've already know who you are and you're a good person and it's in your character, you have integrity, you have morals, you carry yourself with nothing but like respect for others and this and that, you are not worried about these like little like immature thoughts of, well, I do all this, they don't do anything for me, that's not a good friend, they don't make the effort, blah, 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 right? And again, you have to communicate that you feel that way and let the person tell you like, oh, I'm not meaning to not make effort. I'm just, you know, I just don't want to go. And it's not something I want to do, but I love you. And like, I'm happy to, like, I'm sorry, I just don't want to, like, and it's kind of healing to have friends that are like I've gone through things like that, and like having those conversations and being not afraid to say like, I'm sorry that like this is coming across this way to you. Like, I'm interested in exploring it. But for me, like, I'm just, you know, and I had this actually with one of my friends because I disappeared, and she shared with me that like she felt really triggered and like kind of disrespected that I just like fell off the face of the earth, and that she took it kind of personal that I just never responded and blah, blah, blah. And this was at a time where I felt very called to just not tell people my business and to remove myself from certain timelines that she happened to just be involved in. And it was, again, nothing against her, and I love her, and I still love her. We just don't talk because I don't know, I follow my inner guidance just told me, and I responded to her. She sent me a long message, and that's what I love about having conscious friends, because she shared what she was feeling. She didn't hold it in, and I don't have to feel, and I didn't feel bad. You know, I felt obviously compassion, but I didn't feel guilt, and I just sent love, and I know she sends me love, you know, and that's the kind of relating that I wish for everyone. right? So it's kind of like, I responded and was like, no, I understand how that must feel. And, you know, I take, you know, I can acknowledge that I could have communicated better. However, I chose and will choose to, and continue to choose to follow my intuition, which for some reason